time, let's also address Shriram Finance. Now we have the numbers for you on your screen, and its net profit has risen around 73%. So at least in terms of profitability, it looks like a good number. I know we tend to not look at the total income for NBFCs, even like Shriram Finance. We'd wait for the net interest income because that'll give you a better picture of how your overall interest income has panned out. Bottom line, it does seem like it's a fairly positive one. Also keeping an eye on some of your key NPA ratios, along with how provisioning has stood for Shriram Finance, because that'll give you a much better idea in terms of asset quality and how things have panned out. But like I said, profit does see a sharp 73% growth. And it does seem like a very strong number, at least from the PAT point of view, but it's the operational metrics that we are still waiting for to keep an eye on. In the meantime, is there anything else that you're spotting, Mahima?
Yeah, the board has also approved a 2.5 rupees interim dividend is what we see. I think we have our banking expert with us. Let's before I address some other stock. Aditya, if you had the chance again to see the numbers of Shriram Finance, how are you reading them?
I think a decent set of numbers. I will wait for the NPA numbers to come out. Profit numbers are all inconsequent as of now. I believe they will also report some sort of a slowdown and some bit of rise in NPAs. I'm just waiting for the NPA and the slippages number, which I am not able to see for the moment.
Critical for Shriram Finance because if we do in fact get a better idea of that particular aspect, and if we have those now. Okay, so the net interest income is out for you now, and that's seen a growth of around 14%. So 14% net interest income, clearly there's going to be something which is one-off potentially, because we're seeing a sharp 73% rise in your profitability. I'm more or less certain there isn't a decline in provisioning. There may not be an increase, but I don't think there's a decline in provisioning, because otherwise you would not have that profit number will rise by that much. So there is this most likely provisioning has possibly been, okay, so there's a one-time gain of around 1,554 crores. So that explains your up move, your sharp up move in your bottom line. Again, keeping an eye on your NNPA ratios, and I think I'm trying to open the release in front of my screen as well to see how your gross NPA ratio and your net NPA ratios have panned out. It will certainly give you a better idea in terms of asset quality, and we do know that in general, for Shriram Finance, things have remained fairly stable. So at the moment, what I am also keeping an eye on in terms of your other aspects, so we don't have too much going on in terms of provisioning right now, at least at the moment. We don't have any updates yet. But again, taxation has been slightly on the higher end. So despite that, we're actually looking at that sharp up move around 73%. Again, we should have Vishwanath soon joining us to give us a finer print of all the details that we have right now. There is also, and the finance costs. Okay, so that clearly is a part of the part of your net interest income that is panned out. It does seem like Shriram Finance in the meantime has wilted under pressure and has gone into the red right now after a sharp spike. So there you have it. That's how things are panning out. Okay, so I believe we do have Vishy joining us now. Vishy, how are you reading in the numbers right now?
So broadly, okay. There's about a 1,500 crore, exceptional gain because of the sale of the Shriram Housing Finance unit, which the company sold to Warburg, during the quarter. That's pushing up the profit number. But overall, on the asset quality bit, Agam, when we were talking earlier, there's about a 6 basis point increase in gross NPA, and an increase on the net NPA front as well,
right.
Which is a bit of a worrying factor, considering that Shriram Finance has been pushing towards a retailization of its book, trying and growing more in the personal finance and secured retail products. So the spike in NPA is a problem. Remember that they have a very large commercial vehicle book as well, so that may also be adding to the asset quality worries there. Overall, if you look at the profit growth, if you take the 1,500 crore out of the 3,300 crore odd, I think, profit number that exists at this point in time, you will see that the profit growth is actually not that much. 1,800 odd crore net profit last year. compared to that close to around that 1900 crore profit this year as well. So the profit growth has been not that sharp, and asset quality has worsened. So that's what you're seeing on the stock with the impact coming in on the stock. Numbers are not as good as one would have expected.
So what is the other income component? Any idea about that?
The other income component, well, the other income hasn't really moved much. The exceptional item, if you're talking about.
The exceptional item.
Yeah, so as I said, the Shriram Housing Finance sale that happened during the quarter, that's what's adding to the profit number and making it look better than what it was last year.
Right, fair enough. No, that makes perfect sense. And that was perhaps what I missed out in terms of understanding. But Vishy, thank you so much for getting us that quick update with respect to Shriram Finance. And of course, as Vishy has mentioned, there is a ever so slight uptick in terms of some asset quality concerns, but not too much otherwise.